Gareth Southgate gave England's public what it wanted against Hungary and was rewarded with a deadly dull display, greeted with a wave of indifference from a discontented Wembley Gallery. Gareth Southgate gave England's public what it wanted against Hungary and was rewarded with a deadly dull display, greeted with a wave of indifference from a discounted Wembley Gallery. On a night that got up to the worst of stars, as Hungarian fans cheered the England players taking the knee, people clashing violently with police and stewards. On a night that got up to worst of stars, as Hungarian fans cheered the England players taking the knee, people clashing violently with police and stewards. The fair on the pitch was bitterly disappointing, lacking inspiration and sparkle. England's manager has been criticized for conservatism in the past, but his team sheet provoked excitement. England manager has been criticized for conservatism in the past, but his team sheet provoked excitement. It was the kind of lineup his detractors have long demanded, with Phil Foden and Mason Mount alongside Declan Rice in midfield and serving Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, and Raheem Sterling in attack. It was the kind of lineup his detractors have long demanded, with Phil Foden and Mason Mount alongside Declan Rice in midfield and serving Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, and Raheem Sterling in attack. But there was the whip of serious anti-climax around Wembley as the home supporters filed away into night following a stolid 1-1 draw, though England still remain on course to qualify for next year's Qatar World Cup. But there was the whip of serious anti-climax around Wembley as the home supporters filed away into the night following Stoddich 1-1 draw. Though England still remain on course to qualify for next year's Qatar World Cup. It was not exactly a case of be careful what you wish for, as England were comfortably contained by a Hungary side who lost at home to Albania in their last qualifier. It was not exactly a case of be careful what you wish for, as England were comfortably contained by a Hungary side who lost at home to Albania in their last qualifier. But it may have served as a cold shower for some of the more romantic notions aimed towards Southgate in recent times. He has based much of his qualifying campaign for the 2022 showpiece around the holding midfield partnership of Rice and Calvin Phillips. He has based much of his qualifying campaign for the 2022 showpiece around the holding midfield partnership of Rice and Calvin Phillips. With Phillips injured and Jordan Henderson on the bench, there was a sense of Southgate letting England off the leash. With Phillips injured and Jordan Henderson on the bench, there was a sense of Southgate letting England off the leash. Yet they never even got out of the starting blocks. Yet they never even got out of the starting block. When John Stones equalized before halftime, it seemed certain England would go on to secure victory, especially as they were facing a team they had thrashed 4-0 in Budapest in September. When John Stones equalized before halftime, it seemed certain England would go on to secure victory, especially as they were facing a team facing a team they had thrashed 4-0 in Budapest in September. Not a bit of it. The second half was in fact on ISO. Not a bit of it. The second half was in fact an ISO. England was strangely lacking on ideas. Despite the wealth of creation at their disposal, Hungary were resilient, well organized, and presented presented Southgate side with a problem they could not solve. England were strangely lacking in ideas despite the wealth of creation at their disposal. Hungary war resilient, well organized, and presented Southgate side with a problem they could not solve. Southgate did not hide from the reality. Southgate did not hide from the reality. Disappointing performance, he said. Hungary caused us a tactical problem and we are not flawed. Disappointing performance, he said. Hungary caused us a tactical problem and we're not flawed. We did not play at the level we need to play. Simple as that. It's difficult to pinpoint and we will go away and look at the balance of the team. We did not play at the level we need to play. Simple as that. It's difficult to pinpoint and we will go away and look at the balance of the team. It's difficult to pinpoint. It's difficult to pinpoint and we will go away and look at the balance of the team. We have to reflect and should not judge things on the game and that experiment. We have to reflect and should not judge things on the game and that experiment. From the start, we were not sharp with our play, gave the ball away, were overlearning things, and for the first time in a long time, we have to hold our hands up. From the start, we were not sharp with our game, gave the ball away, were overlearning things and for the first time in a long time. We have to hold our hands up. We have to hold our hands up. The biggest concern of all was the lightweight nature of the response when Hungary challenged England to break them down. The biggest concern of all was the lightweight nature, the response when Hungary challenged England to break them down. The symbol of their struggles was Captain Kane, so far off form and so lacking in confidence that there could be no questioning Southgate's decision to take him out of the firing line with 14 minutes left. The symbol of their struggles was Captain Kane, so far out of form and so lacking in confidence that there could be no questioning Southgate's decision. There could be no questioning Southgate's decision to take him out of the firing line with 14 minutes left. He looked jaded and off the pace, still dropping too deep on the cushion, thus reducing his reach. He looked jaded and off the pace, still dropping too deep on a cushion, thus reducing his reach. In the past, taking Kane up with the game at stake and England chasing a winner would have been regarded as a high-risk strategy. In the past, taking Kane up with the game at stake and England chasing a winner would have been regarded as a high-risk strategy. That year, Kane had not made the case to stay on. His run of scoring in 15 consecutive qualifiers was over. That year, Kane had not made the case to stay on. His run of scoring in 15 consecutive qualifiers was over. The removal of Grealish, arguably England's most dangerous player, was mystifying, but the substitution of Kane was not. The removal of Grealish, arguably England's most dangerous player, was mystifying, but the substitution of Kane was not. No one can be exempt. No one can be exempt from harsh judgment in such circumstances, and Kane was a prime candidate to be hooked by Southgate. No one can be exempt from harsh judgment in such circumstances, and Kane was a prime candidate to be hooked by Southgate. Grealish was at least carrying a threat, and his departure was greeted by jeers from a large section of the Wembley crowd and probably with great relief by Hungary. Grealish was at least carrying a threat, and his departure was greeted by jeers from a large section of the Wembley crowd, and probably with great relief by Hungary. Probably with great relief by Hungary. Sterling somewhat marginalized at Manchester City these days, is another who is not at his best, and he accompanied Kane on the long walk back to the bench after 76 minutes. Sterling somewhat marginalized at Manchester City these days, is another who is not at his best, and he accompanied Kane on the long walk back to the bench after 76 minutes. Once again, there could be no complaints. Once again, there could be no complaints. There was little or nothing to recommend this night on or off the field. There was little or nothing to recommend this night on or off the field. Although Southgate will have learned much, and there is now every chance the central midfield pairing of Rice and Phillips will be restored at the earliest opportunity. Although Southgate will have learned much, and there is now every chance the central midfield pairing of Rice and Phillips will be restored at the earliest opportunity. If this was an experiment by Southgate, he failed and may turn out to be very short-lived. If this was an experiment by Southgate, he failed and may turn out to be very short-lived.